Hey guys, this is gonna be a very personal video. If you're looking for a very high effort, lots of fun editing and things going on, Mr. Beast type video, this is not for you, man. Feel free to click off now, because this is gonna be me talking about YouTube, about me, guy behind the camera, and the future of the channel and of TF2 and my involvement in it. So that's about what you can expect for this. I don't have a script for this, but I have a rough outline of what I want to talk about. And I gotta start pretty early in this, but please indulge me, okay? I promise this all ties together. I started doing YouTube all the way back in 2014, which at this point is 12 years ago, man. I'm getting up there. I'm not old, I'm 26 now, but, you know, started pretty early. But I've been doing this for a pretty long time. And I don't ever talk about me, the guy behind the camera. I want to give you guys a bit of a... I want to give you guys the full insight into how this channel came to be, why it is the way it is, and where it's gonna be soon. And it's pretty important to me. So I'm rambling far too much. I'm sorry. When I started this channel in 2014 and doing videos in 2016, a big motivator was I was watching a lot of Muselk back then. Still, I believe back then those TF2 videos, some of the greatest creations on God's green earth, man. Awesome videos. I loved them so much. But I was like, these are cool, but you could make them so much better so easily. And that was a big reason why I started out doing YouTube, to be better than Muselk, to be the better Muselk. And it turned out very quickly that making YouTube videos is actually hard, and I did not end up being better than Muselk at making TF2 YouTube videos. Not at all. In fact, quite the opposite. My first videos sucked. My first time on YouTube, I was just not getting anywhere. I also very much went into it after my first video was just after I realized how hard it is, with the motivation of, okay, I'll never make it here, but it's fun making these videos, so I'll keep doing it. I'll keep, and I don't care if I'll get views or subs or money. Maybe I can get it to 1,000 subscribers, man. That would be so cool. That was the type of person I was. And eventually I clawed my way up to... It must have been either 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers. I don't quite remember. It was a big milestone. I believe it was 10k. And I made a video, a subscriber special, 10,000 subscriber special, thinking that's gonna... People are gonna watch that and it's gonna be so cool and the community comes together here and this is where people say, wow, we're so happy for you, and it's a huge thing. And the video ended up flopping so hard. I think it got like 100 views. And I deleted it out of shame, which it was very sad back then, but I think it's funny now. But basically, that formed how I look at YouTube a significant amount, right? It very much solidified the idea in my mind that making the content is what's important and people don't actually care about me, the person. Which I believe that was a correct assessment. That was a very formative experience, I think. Because eventually I kept making YouTube videos and I was watching, and unfortunately I don't remember the name of the guy, but I was watching a TF2 YouTuber who would make videos about the TF2 workshop and about the community hub, which were really fun for me. I really enjoyed those. And eventually he stopped making them, which made me quite sad. But I thought to myself, hey, if he doesn't do them anymore, there's this vacuum now that I can fill. I'll just do those videos. And that turned out to be the best decision I ever made in my life, I feel like. Because I made a video about the TF2, about taunts in the TF2 workshop. And that video ended up getting 100,000 views. That's an unbelievable number even now. Like, I kind of lack perspective sometimes because I'm just, you know, I've been at the YouTube game for a very solid time. So sometimes the numbers don't sound that crazy to me anymore, but 100,000 views is a lot of views, no? So I finally found my footing, I felt like. I will keep doing that. And I kept trying to find new formats, repeatable formats. That was my big thing. That was what I wanted to do because it worked. And I was watching Mr. Beast on YouTube, who became a thing slowly, and who was saying, do this and that and that. And I was very like, okay, I'll do all that. And that was my thing. And I'll do it with TF2 because that's the thing that works for me. That was my mental space. And it worked. It worked fantastically. The YouTube channel kept growing. People didn't really care about me, but they were here for the content, man. That's for sure. And I was very much like, okay, I'll do whatever is necessary to make the videos as watchable as possible. That's the most important thing. The video needs to be watchable first, everything else second. And that eventually ended up becoming an issue, I feel like. I did those reaction videos to, because I got the idea for the Reddit reactions from PewDiePie originally, because he was doing, I was watching a lot of PewDiePie, and he was just doing Reddit reactions just the same way, just with face cam. And I was like, well, I'll do that, but for TF2. And the way I did those reactions just wasn't very good. I was very much the typical react-tuber, I'm afraid. The, wow, that's crazy. Oh my god, ha ha ha. Type of guy, you know what I mean? Like, that's about the extent of what my commentary was. Just say crazy, haha, and move on to the next post. And TF2 has a very tight-knit community, and so bad actors get called out pretty quickly. I feel like, in a sense, I wasn't the worst of the worst, but in a sense, it was bad to do. And I was seeing the writing on the wall, definitely. I was falling into bad graces, that's for sure. People just didn't appreciate that because it felt very exploitative. Because I think it was. Because I think it just was exploitative in a sense. And so because I was seeing the broader opinion on me, and I also remember I went into YouTube and TF2 because I wanted to be this cool muso guy that people look up to and find inspiring and cool. So I really wanted to change that. That became a big focus for me to improve that aspect of my YouTuber life, I guess. Just, I wanted to focus on making content creation the way I do it with the reactions more fair for other people. And I think eventually I succeeded in that. The way I do those videos now is whenever there's, you know, and it was a process to find out how to do that, how to best make it so everyone involved is happy. Now when there's a mod in one of the posts, I'll download the mod and talk about it for a bit, not just say, wow, that's crazy, and show the video of the mod being featured. If there's a post about gameplay aspect, I'll try to recreate it in TF2 for the video. The recordings are like they used to be half an hour of recordings. Now the raw recordings are like 4 hours long, 3 hours long. It's just changed significantly, and for the better. I really think for the better, and I hope you guys also appreciate that, because I really try to be the best version of myself in that sense. I really, really try. And so that leads me into something else you guys don't know about me, which is I love Dungeons and Dragons. I don't ever talk about that sort of stuff, but I play it weekly. For those of you who don't know, it's a role-playing game where you sit together, roll dice, and do funny voices and pretend to be a heroic character. And that has led eventually, because in the TF2 Reddit videos, I would sometimes have short TF2 comics. And I would dub those, like I would do the funny voices for the mercenaries. I can do a very good medic. And, you know, that I noticed at some point that is not restricted to TF2. There's so many other webcomics that I could be doing this with. And so recently I started doing voice dubs of comics on Seriamon too. And, I love that so much. And finally I can... those voices I've been training for so long, they're finally useful for something. I'm so blessed. I can make money with TF2, my favorite game of all time. I love doing D&D and voices, and I can now be a YouTuber for that. I'm just beyond lucky. It's actually cosmically insane. So that's sort of that's sort of where I am, right? And it's I need minutes to holy shit. Okay, and I noticed, right, that these videos do very well. Those shorts about the comics, the comic dub shorts. And my strategy very recently became I will ask a webcomic artist, hey, is it cool if I dub your comics for YouTube? I'll give you credit and all of that. And once I get the yes, because I really don't want this to be a repeating of history, you know? I don't want to start doing this, not asking for credit and being a nuisance to the actual artists of the comics. I want them to be happy with it too. So I ask for permission and try and make it worth it for them to allow for me to do this as much as possible, as much as humanly possible, man. I really want it to be a positive thing for all involved. That's very important for me. And I think it's working very well. The videos are doing fantastically, and for the first time, I don't feel like, and I don't want you guys to understand this in the wrong way, I feel like I can rely on other things than just TF2 for my future as a YouTuber, as a content creator, as an artist, I guess. And it feels pretty damn good. I just feel like I can, you know, and I will continue making stuff for TF2, but it feels like I don't have to anymore, which is nice. I always love doing my TF2 videos, and I'll continue doing them for the foreseeable future, but I want to be very straightforward. I don't want to do it for the rest of my life. I just don't feel that's my calling. I don't think doing only TF2 stuff for the rest of my life is what I want to do. And I hope you guys can understand that. I know that other YouTubers, Musil specifically, he left for Overwatch. He was crucified for that. I hope you guys can understand why I might eventually make the switch. It won't be a thing starting tomorrow, no more TF2 videos, you know. And there might still be the occasional video, and, you know, the Seriamon channel will be used for TF2 only, I think. I don't think I want to do other videos here, because it's a channel that has been established for TF2, and I want to keep it like that. I have 6 Seriamon channels, you know, the funny colors. I'll use those for the other stuff. Seriamon 2 is used for the webcomics. I hope you guys can understand why I might be making the switch slowly, and why I might be interested in other stuff. And I even though I think most people who watch my videos don't really care about me specifically, I hope that some of you might follow along and explore the new paths with me also, you know? Just stick around a bit every now and again and look what is Seriamon doing. I don't know, I like that idea of sort of, yeah, of that. And it does, and this will be my final point that I want to get into, my final thoughts on this video. It does feel a bit like, and I'm sorry for this, it feels a bit like if I stop making TF2 videos, another one abandons the TF2 community, as usual. Like, just, you know, the greener pastures, I'm off, see you later. In a way, it's even a bit true, you know? I can't fully argue that, I guess. But what I wanna make an effort in the coming time, and I already have those 2 videos I made about Valve and TF2. I made them for this reason. If I can leave the TF2 community and and do other things, I don't want to pull the ladder up behind me. And it kind of feels like I would be if I didn't try to change TF2 for the better before I, before I leave, I guess. If I do. And I can't say I will. I just now have the option to. Now that I have the option to, I feel... And I don't know if that's weird, but I feel like I should get TF2 into a state again where it is what it was for me. Which was this awesome opportunity. Making TF2 videos guarantees you an audience for as a starting YouTuber in a way that I don't think other games do. If you make Minecraft videos, it's not the same support for small creators. And it's also not as easy to even be noticed. Because I think part of it is that it's also a content creator vacuum in TF2. And I quite liked that TF2 gave me this opportunity to get where I am, right? Which I love where I am. And for other people to be able to do the same, I feel the game needs to, it's a bit cringy, but remember who you are. Who are we, guys? TF2 was this behemoth. TF2 is for me in the same category as Minecraft, World of Warcraft, League of Legends. It's bedrock. It's one of the foundations of gaming. It's just such a important part of gaming history and gaming in general. But compared to Minecraft, compared to League, compared to WoW, we're just not as big, not as important, not as impactful, unfortunately. And that is gonna be something, and unfortunately, I don't fully know how, but I want to try and change that at least a little. And yeah, that would be everything I wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening. I hope that the coming time is going to be fun. Hope you like the comics. And I hope the video wasn't too boring, even though there's no Mr. Beast editing. I feel these sorts of videos are something I lack from content creators nowadays. Most people I watch on YouTube also just do what is the best viewer retention graph I can craft for myself with these 10 editing tricks. I think sometimes personality is what people need. And I hope this is something that gives a bit more insight on who I am and something that just I don't usually do in my videos, so I think I'll end it here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.